Yo, what is up, human beings? I'm Ollie. So it has definitely been a while. I think the last time I actually recorded a video was when I had like really long hair. I had just come out as non-binary, so it was very new and exciting, and I was going to make a video about it, but I got like really anxious and kind of dropped off the face of the earth. I figured it's finally time for me to make a video about what the fuck non-binary is. Let's start with what non-binary means. So the binary genders are male and female. If you identify as non-binary, you don't fall into those categories. Non-binary is an umbrella term for anything outside of the binary male and female. Being non-binary, you could be neither, you could be all, you could switch between genders. Just like sexuality, gender is also a spectrum. There's many reasons you could be watching this video. You could be questioning your own gender, you could already be trans, or you could just be like, what the fuck's non-binary? I first came out as non-binary a little over a year ago, and for me that experience was very scary. A few years ago I told myself that if I ever came out as trans and if I ever identified as a boy, then I would kill myself. I've gone through my fair share of horrible things in my life, and I wasn't sure with my mental health that I would be able to handle that. Because the truth is, transitioning is hard and it does take a toll on you, but it is definitely worth it. Questioning my gender was very difficult because I didn't know where to start. Some of the things I did to try something new included putting my long brown hair up into a snapback. I wore more masculine clothes that hid my chest. Eventually, I did end up cutting off my hair. I definitely was very scared to cut off my hair because I thought that's what made me beautiful and I thought that's what made me attractive. But I definitely think short hair fits me a lot better now. And now, over a year later, as an out and proud non-binary being, I do bind my chest and I do conceal my chest. I wear a binder from GC2B. Ooh, binder slip, scandalous. For real though, the first binder I ever got was really bad. It was from Amazon and it hurt so bad to wear it for long periods of time, and that's never a good sign. But when I first got it, I was so excited because I was like, whoa, finally I'll know what it's like to have a flat chest and it'll be so cool. And needless to say, I was very disappointed. I expected my chest to just disappear, and that's not how binders work. So I tried on my binder, I was so excited, I ripped it out of the package, I ran to the bathroom, I put it on, and I still had boobs. I immediately started crying on the floor of the bathroom because my expectations were too high. So if you are binding and you have a larger chest like I do, it won't hide it. It won't make it disappear, but it will make it a little more flat and it'll make you look more masculine. Some other things you could try are different pronouns. I personally use they, them pronouns, which are gender neutral pronouns. He, him, she, her are all still rad pronouns to use if you are non-binary or questioning your gender, whatever feels most comfortable to you. And if you want to try some new stuff out, definitely make sure that you're surrounded by some cool, accepting people that will help you with that. And it's always okay to change your pronouns later on. At first I went by she, her, and then I realized that didn't fit me very well, and then I tried she, them, and it was a little better, but everyone still used she, and I was like, ooh, icky, no thank you. So now I use they, them, and it definitely is still hard for people because the first thing people do when they see you is judge you by, baseline characteristics. So if you do appear more feminine or more female, then they will label you as such. As I mentioned previously, gender exists on a spectrum as well as sexuality. So if male is here and female is here, I definitely believe I identify closer to male, but still in the middle. So I definitely am still neither. I was terrified when first coming out that nobody would love me if I came out as non-binary, and that I'd be too difficult to love, and people wouldn't be attracted to me if I wasn't a woman and I wasn't a lesbian. But I've found out that definitely is not the case. If anything, I get more genuine attention for being my authentic self, and that feels so validating and it feels so great. And for the other way around, wearing something maybe a little more revealing, something more feminine fitting. Another super cool thing that I experienced being a non-binary being is that people don't push gender roles on me. Now that may be different from everybody depending on whether you're more feminine or more masculine. The first place I ever came out was on the internet, actually. So none of my friends and family were involved. I didn't have to come out publicly to anybody I knew in person. And it felt really cool to try that out and to be honest with myself and with other people without having it have an effect on my life. If you are questioning your gender and you are considering coming out, please, please, please be very careful, because a lot of parents react differently, a lot of family reacts differently. You can't always be sure of how they'll react. My parents personally didn't understand what I was talking about at all, but they were very accepting. They didn't know what non-binary was. They still fuck up my pronouns and my name sometimes, but it's okay. They are accepting and they are helping me to get top surgery and things like that. So please, please, please know that if you cannot immediately come out to your family, I love you and you're valid, and I just want you to be safe. So everybody transitions differently. There's no right way to transition. There's no full transition. Transitioning is what you make it. Like personally, I don't think I want to start testosterone, but I definitely want top surgery. It's all a pick and choose type thing. It's all what makes you feel most comfortable. And it definitely is hard when a lot of medical professionals even don't know what this is. I definitely think it's important to educate people, because there are so many people that are also non-binary, and it's very nice to be validated. I definitely think it's very important to educate people, because a lot of people don't know what that is, but there are a lot of us out there. You don't have to change your sexuality, you don't have to change your name. Personally, I've done both of those things, but when I first came out, I identified as a lesbian, and I used my birth name, and I was still a valid non-binary being, and that was chill for a while. But identifying as non-binary, I didn't feel comfortable anymore after a year or so identifying as a lesbian, because that led people to believe that I was a woman who was also attracted to women. So now I identify as queer, because I am not a man or a woman. As for changing your birth name, I personally chose a name that was very similar to my birth name, so I don't think it's very hard for you to guess what it was. But after a year of molding myself further and further into the person that I want to be, I didn't feel like it was right to keep the same old name I've been associated with my whole life. I definitely feel like Ollie fits me a lot better than my birth name. Since it is so similar to my birth name, people almost see it as a nickname. I get to choose that name, and I feel very, very happy using it. I feel a lot more comfortable, and it is hard for people to switch to such similar names. At first, when I was first coming out, I wasn't sure if I was allowed to use the word trans, because I was not a man or a woman. I did not transition to the opposite gender I was born as. But the definition of trans or transition in the gender sense is identifying as something other than you were born as. So if you are non-binary, trans is definitely a word you can use. Haven't heard of non-binary, don't consider it a real thing. I don't know what else to talk about. I am all over the place. Hit the like button, subscribe, check out my links in the description, because I am thirsty for followers. Wow. Alright, on that note, stay safe. I love y'all so, so, so much, and I'll catch y'all on the flip side. Oh, I've seen a lot of transgenders.